check out our sponsor, ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com, the leading innovator in water filtration systems. Get all of your water filters at ProPureUSA.com. Click the link below right now. Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green, and you're tuning into AMTV, Alternative Media Television. Happy Easter. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. There was a lot of questions on our channel why we removed our last video on the the phony nuke deal. It had nothing to do with us being wrong or thinking we had to pull the video. It was actually an internal error, courtesy of YouTube, that prevented our video that we posted online on this massive monopoly distribution channel network of reaching our subscriber feeds, of which we have about 250,000 subscribers. So the video only reached about 5,000 people through Facebook and Twitter, but failed to reach our YouTube subscribers. So we had 250,000 people that couldn't get to the video, which is why we since removed it. And we're doing another one to see, hopefully, if it works. Now, hopefully this is just an internal error. It's not some kind of new form of censorship, courtesy of this distribution platform. YouTube has historically done a pretty good job of allowing us to get our content out to the world, and it's been a very good tool. We would certainly like to continue to use it. But it's also why AMTV needs your continued support. It's why I ask you to donate $5 a month, $10 a month, $15 a month, $20 a month. It's why I ask you to share our content. Visit our website, amtvmedia.com. Check it out on a daily basis and support what we do. Support our sponsors so we can continue to grow the independent alternative media. So what about this Iran nuke deal? Because people were saying that we were wrong, that a deal was struck. They said it's been struck. Well, actually, that's bullshit. It's a total and utter lie. There is no deal. It's just bullshit rhetoric, courtesy of the mainstream media, courtesy of Barack Obama, itching for his approval rating to rise. Same thing with John Kerry. We're seeing a total counterpoint coming out of the Iranian government saying there's really not been a deal. There's just a loose framework to continue the negotiations and to continue the talks until June. So that's the deal. They're going to keep talking. That's the big deal. Nothing's been signed. There is no actual physical agreement. It's just they're going to keep talking until June. But of course, a lot can happen in the next couple of months. I mean, God forbid a suitcase bomb goes off in an American or European city. God forbid the bubblicious stock market crashes. God forbid there's some kind of seismic, systemic shock like what we saw in 2008 and 2009. So anything can happen. Of course, Vladimir Putin warning of a nuclear event if the United States, NATO, and her allies somehow agitate things in the Baltic states, similarly to what they've done in Ukraine, ousting a rightfully democratically elected leader in the name of Viktor Yanukovych. So, of course, anything can happen. I've talked about this extensively. I've talked about the artificial price manipulation in the oil market, how Obama is playing good cop and bad cop, Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel versus the United States, and Obama, pretending that we're on a different side and on a different team, when the real agenda, the New World Order agenda, is to engage Iran with a new war. Again, we've heard this from General Wesley Clark. We've seen it in action over the past several decades, whether or not it's George W. Bush or Barack Obama, this domino effect in the Middle East, whether or not it's Iraq or it's Afghanistan. It's the murder of Muammar Gaddafi in Libya. It's Syria. It's the attempted ouster of Bashar al-Assad. Or now it's Yemen and soon to be Iran. Again, Iran is the final target. A brand new war is the agenda of the NWO. Bibi addressing Congress, Obama and him clearly not liking each other personally, but the country's on the same team, all a part of the same program. And of course, a lot can happen in just a couple of months. Also in the news over the week, and I'm reading a lot of reports on this transhumanist movement. The likes of Peter Thiel and the founder of PayPal, billionaire. People like Ray Kurzweil, who wrote the book The Singularity is Near, talking about how they're moving towards this push and spending millions, if not billions of dollars so that they can live forever. Which got me thinking, who in their right mind would want to live forever outside of these egocentric maniacs and multi-billion
Tech billionaires like these people. Why would you want to live forever? And they always shoot for the stars. They always tell us all this fancy shit about how there's going to be a singularity in a decade or so by, 2020, 2030, that the computer AI is going to exceed all of human consciousness. It's going to be a parabolic shift, and then the robots are going to take over and kill us all. Yet, they have these monumental ideas, yet they still can't cure male pattern baldness. Yeah, they haven't figured that out yet. Just millions and millions of men walking around bald as eagles. Yeah, just, showing a reflection on the top of their forehead like Mr. Clean. They can't cure that. They can't cure cancer, but the computers are going to take over. Yeah, that's right. The AI is going to have a collective consciousness greater than all of humanity, and people are going to find the fountain of youth and live forever like Magic Johnson. You see, it doesn't matter when you've got HIV, you've got the HIV, you've got the cough, like Chris Rock used to say. If you're wealthy enough, if you've got enough money, I guess maybe you do live forever, like Magic Johnson. So interesting that these futurists are pushing forward with this agenda. Keep in mind, Google, a part of this, investing millions, if not billions of dollars in companies like Boston Dynamics, becoming the largest, soon-to-be largest defense contractor to the United States federal government, diversifying away from technology and into the military-industrial complex. I always find it interesting how we're sold the bullshit and the lie that we have the greatest military capacity here in the United States, that we're still the strongest in the world. And my honest to God question is, are we? Are we really? Because I remember when I used to live in D.C., I went to George Washington University. My professors told me we had the tightest airspace in Washington than anywhere in the world, next to Israel, that we could scramble a jet at the speed of light, that a sonic boom would go off and they could knock anything out of the sky. While I was there, a commercial airliner smacked into the White House. I guess the airspace isn't as tight as they said it was. And then right after I left, it appeared to look like a missile. They say a plane, but a missile, even some generals will tell you this, hit the Pentagon. September 11th, 2001. So I guess that airspace wasn't as tight as all these politicians, these professors had been telling us. Which begs the question, is our military really superior to that of the rest of the world? I mean, ask yourself the question, when is the last time we've had a serious war? Not these bullshit wars, not these easy to topple countries that we have in the Middle East, like in Iraq or Afghanistan. Not those wars. I'm talking about a serious war against a China, against a Russia, an equivalent of a World War II. Are we really as strong as we think we are? All it would take is a suitcase bomb or maybe a technological terror attack on Wall Street to bring down the entire economic system. We saw this in 08 and 09 post the Bernanke put. He put interest rates down to levels we hadn't seen before, created this bubblicious economy and these asset bubbles only for them to blow up in our faces, followed by multi-trillion-dollar bailouts. And now the bubbles are even bigger. People always say, Chris, you're wrong about some things. And of course I am. I'm human. Of course I'm going to get some things wrong. One thing I underestimated, for example, was the degree of how large these bubbles could actually get. The fact that we could have a tripling in the U.S. markets, in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, near a triple in the S&P 500, that we could reach new bubblicious heights, higher than what we saw in the dot-com boom, higher than what we saw in 2008 before that crisis, higher than the world has ever seen. I underestimated that they could keep interest rates at zero forever, that they never intend to raise them, that rates would actually go negative in Europe and soon to be negative here in the United States, which arguably already has real negative interest rates. That's what personally I've underestimated. And you know what it's done? It's only created greater risk. It's only created more of a problem. More debt on top of more debt and more bullshit and more shenanigans is a recipe for disaster. And it's going to blow up in all of our faces once again. There is no deal. This Iranian nuke deal is total bullshit. It's a loose framework of bullshit rhetoric coming from politicians, and they have yet to sign off on anything officially. Again, while our tech billionaires push forward with this transhumanist agenda, they still can't cure male pattern baldness. They still can't cure cancer. Or maybe they can. Maybe they don't want to. Maybe the pharmaceutical companies want to keep you on the teat. I should actually do a special report on that, a multi-billion-dollar industry to keep you on the teat of all these drugs. Bombarding American society that is depressed beyond belief with these SSRIs and these big pharmaceutical giants. All of it's total bullshit, folks. It ain't good for you, and the next couple of months are going to bring up upon things that we have never seen before in history. It's all happening right before our very eyes. I'm Christopher Green. Get this video out everywhere, make it viral, hard hitting it in your face, and click the link below to support our sponsor.